Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name's Marissa and today I am doing another book tag. Today's book tag is brought to you by Girl Reading, and I will go ahead and link the original tag video down below. I was not tagged in this, therefore I am not going to tag anybody in this because I know a lot of people have already done this, but I am linking the original video just so that you guys can go see who made it. And as always, I will put the questions down below. So today's video is the rapid fire book tag. So I've kind of sort of glanced at these, but I have not come up with any answers for them. So you guys are seeing my genuine knee-jerk reaction to all of these questions. So without any further ado, let's get into it. The first one is ebook or physical book. I don't know. I am so torn between both of those because obviously I keep all of my ebooks, my physical books, only the ones I really love. I do have to say physical book because there's nothing like picking up a physical book and holding it in your hand and smelling the pages, and you guys know, you read, you know what I'm talking about. So the next one is paperback or hardback. While hardbacks do look good on a shelf, they are not the most pleasant books to hold and read. So I'm going to have to say the paperback, but not the mass market paperback, the big floppy paperbacks. So the next one is online or in-store book shopping. I really like going to a bookstore and picking stuff out. However, I do like shopping online just because I can kind of get a more in-depth synopsis and kind of see like the star reviews. I don't actually like go through and read any of the reviews because who knows if they contain spoilers or not, but I do like to see like how many stars things have and like okay, so I read these books and this book is comparable to that, you know what I mean. But sometimes it is nice just to be able to go into a bookstore, and I do have a handy list of a whole bunch of books that I would like to pick up in the future, so when I do go to a bookstore and I happen to run across those, I'm like, oh hey, that's on my list, I already know I'm going to want it, so I can pick that up. The next one is a trilogies or a series, and I am a series reader through and through. I absolutely love to follow the characters for multiple books, more than just 3 books. Some series or some books are better as trilogies because there's just not much more that the author could do with the story, and you know, sometimes in a series things get too drawn out and too convoluted and the author just kind of runs out of steam on them. But there are other ones that they just keep getting better as time goes on, and I absolutely love my favorite characters and I love to keep following them, so series all the way for me. Heroes or villains? Honestly, I'm gonna have to say villains. Villains are much more interesting, much more layered, much more morally gray than heroes, of course. Most of the time, I just find heroes kind of boring and flat. So, villains for sure. A book you want everyone to read. For that one, I'm going with The Other Boleyn Girl. Absolutely love it. It's a historical fiction. It is about Henry VIII's second wife, Anne Boleyn, and her sister, Mary Boleyn, and how Anne Boleyn unseated Catherine of Aragon, and then ultimately how Anne Boleyn got unseated because, you know, Henry VIII had 6 wives. So yeah, but that book is absolutely amazing. It lends a new perspective to history without being from the perspective of Anne Boleyn. It's about the perspective of her sister and everything that she had to go through, and I absolutely adore that book, so I think everybody should read that. So the next one is to recommend an underrated book, and I'm going to recommend an underrated series. I think the Alex Verus series is very highly underrated. I had never heard of it before I heard Kayla over at Crack Into a Good Book talk about it, and I absolutely love it. It is an urban fantasy set in the UK, and this guy is a mage, and it's very comparable to Harry Dresden. It's like the UK version of the Harry Dresden novels, so they're amazing. I've read all 10 that are out so far. Absolutely loved every single one of them, and they're fast reads. They're very fast paced. They're very action. You know, people die, so hey, that's cool. If you can kill off your characters, it's an awesome book. So the last book that I finished was Ink in the Blood by Kim Smedjkul, I think. Anyway, so I've already gotten rid of the physical copy of this book because I didn't really care for it a whole lot. It was way more religious than I was thinking it was going to be, so therefore I didn't really like it a whole lot. This one is the last book you bought, and for that one I am going with Mortal Heart by Robin Lefevers. This is the third book in the His for Assassins trilogy, and I actually have all three books now. I've only read the first one, but the next two I am planning on picking up in the month of May. If you guys haven't seen it already, please go check out my May TBR that I put up, because that lists all the books that I'm going to try to read in the month of May, of course. So the next question is the weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark? I'm gonna say probably toilet paper, like a scrap of toilet paper. Like, okay, seriously, who else does not read in the frickin' bathroom? And you know, if you don't happen to have a bookmark on you using a piece of toilet paper, like, it happens. Okay, so obviously toilet paper, any kind of receipts from anywhere. Like, I've been really much better about now, like, actually having bookmarks in my books before I even start them, just so that I always have some way to mark my page. But yeah, I would say toilet paper. So the next one is used books, yes or no? Yes, absolutely. I buy used books all the time. I actually have a stack of used books right behind me. These ones are the Jim Butcher novels. I just bought a whole bunch of them from my local bookstore, had them shipped to my house, because of course we are still in quarantine here in Michigan. So yeah, I just paid for them online and had them shipped them to me. So the next question is the top 3 favorite genres. I'm gonna have to go with fantasy, urban fantasy, historical fiction. Yeah, historical fiction for sure. The next question is borrow or buy. I do a lot of both, honestly. If I'm not sure that I'm going to like a book, or I'm really not sure about the series, then I will borrow at least the first one from the library, and then if I'm going to continue on, I may buy the next ones. All depending. Audiobooks, I've been doing a lot of borrowing from the library just because it's cheaper that way. Like, I'm trying not to purchase books on Audible because the credits every month are expensive, and then you only get 1 or 2 or however many credits. So yeah, I've been trying to borrow a lot of audiobooks, but I do a lot of both. So the next one is characters or plot. If I have to pick one, if I absolutely have to pick one, I would say characters, because I think characters can save a shitty plot, honestly. If I love the characters, I'm going to forgive a lot of plot holes and a lot of issues with it just because I really connect with the characters. So, yeah. Ideally, I would like to have both, but, you know, try not to be too picky. So the next one is long or short books. It depends. It really depends. Sometimes it's nice to have a short book to just be able to quickly bust right through it and, you know, get it done, get it off your TBR and out of the way. And other times it's like, you know, it's nice to have a very long, chunky book. So I don't know. I'm going to go in the middle, and I'm going to say medium length books. Ideally, like around the 500 page mark is pretty much the sweet spot for me as far as books go. So yeah, I'm going to say medium length books. The next question is long or short chapters. Generally, I don't really care. A lot of people, they have to read until like the end of a chapter. I don't. I just read to the end of a page. And I know, because most bookmarks have, you know, 2 distinct sides to them, I know which way I'm facing the bookmark towards the page that I left off on, so I'm not confused between the two. So I always just leave off at the end of a page or at the end of a sentence on the next page. So yeah, it really doesn't bother me either way. So I guess for the sake of argument, I'm going to say long chapters because I just really don't care. So the next one is name the first 3 books that you think of. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, White Knight by Jim Butcher, and I'll go Ink in the Blood by Kim Smedjkal, because I don't know, I just talked about it. So books that make you laugh or cry. Nonfiction books about animals make me laugh and cry. Mostly just cry though, because usually they're like something terrible is happening to the animal or to the animal's human, and it's just like gut wrenching, and it just rips your heart out and all the best ways. So yeah, anything nonfiction that has to do with animals is just pretty much guaranteed to make me feel feelings. So the next one is Our World or Fictional World. It depends on what kind of fictional world we're living in. I definitely don't want to live in a dystopian world. I don't want to live in some crazy fairy world where things are topsy-turvy. I don't know. Like, I would say a fictional fantasy world for sure, but like a tame one. Yeah, one that there's not like a bunch of war and stuff, and there's modern medicine and whatnot. So that's probably going to be pretty hard to come by, but that's my dream wish right there. Next question is audiobooks, yes or no? Yes, definitely. I absolutely love audiobooks, especially while I'm driving for any length of time. Helps me keep my mind off of the mind-numbing task of having to drive long distances. So yes, definitely. This one is, do you ever judge a book by its cover? Duh. Absolutely, all the time. If a book has an ugly cover, chances are I'm not going to pick it up. It's just, that is why they have cover designers. That is why they have marketing and PR. That is why they design covers in the first place, is so that you will judge a book by its cover and you will pick it up. So yes, absolutely I do. So the next one is book to movie or book to TV adaptations. I prefer whatever medium is actually going to get the full story out there and make it as close to the book as possible and make it entertaining. So there are some things like The Witcher or Game of Thrones that make sense to be a TV series because they're very long, they're very drawn out, they're very intricate. There are other things, other books like the Harry Potter books that definitely need to be movies because each book is very distinct, each book is very set in its own time period. It wraps up nicely at the end, which can be made easily into a movie. Preferably, I know I said I really like TV series more than movies, but honestly, in the case of book to whatever adaptations, I'm going to go with movies on this one, completely against my other answer. So the next one is a movie or TV show you preferred to its book. I don't know. Honestly, I really can't think of any. Nothing off the top of my head. I honestly, 99.9% of the time, I'm going to like the book better because it gets more in-depth and there's more detail in it. I almost like the 6th Harry Potter movie better than the book, which is The Half-Blood Prince, because in the book, Harry is really, really whiny and teenage angsty, and in the movie, it's not done like that. So I almost prefer that one, but I really like more of the details in the book. So yeah, I'm kind of conflicted on this one too. And then the last and final one is series or standalone. And of course, I'm going to go with series on this. I already kind of answered that in the other one. Some books are great as a standalone, wonderful, but I prefer my series. I really want to follow my characters. I want to love my characters. I want to embrace their full life cycle. So I'm not saying I want them to die at the end. Don't get me wrong. So anyway, those are all the questions. And again, I will link the original creator down below and to the original video. And I will also put the blank questions down below so that you guys can go ahead and do this tag if you want to. And anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching my video. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday, and I would really love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe my videos. Have a great day.